Okay, we're going to try this again because apparently technical difficulties are a thing. I'll try to make this quick just because I definitely want to get to the song. When you've been, never mind a DJ, when you've been a fan of music for over 20 years, it is very possible that, you know, like in my case, I've listened to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of songs, and I have no idea. I think it would be impossible to pick a favorite. I could probably pick a favorite recording, and I could probably tell you my favorite album. But I don't know if I could pick a favorite song. That being said, before Weird Al released this, or his version of this, called A Saga Begins in '99, on his album Running with Scissors, this was already a very, very well-known song in the United States. A well-known classic tune by Don McLean called American Pie. And possibly one of my favorite classic rock tunes. And I use that in the broadest sense of the term. Like this isn't, I don't know if this would necessarily be called classic rock or what else you would call it. Classic rock had a lot more folk influence back in the day. And I would say this certainly falls under that category. But yeah, this I don't know if I can call this my favorite song of all time, but it is one of several on a very short list. And to hear that Home Free decided to take it on, well, I had to react to it. So here we go. Home Free, American Pie, featuring the man himself, Don McLean.
A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile.
He sounds so good.
And I knew if I had my chance that I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while.
Don's voice reminds me of when Johnny Cash recorded Hurt. You can hear a lifetime of experience, a lifetime of road stories, a lifetime of playing and singing music in that voice. I'm grateful that we still have Don here to do this, you know, to re-record this song and be featured on the cover of his own tune here in 2021. But man, he sounds so good. Like you can hear, and it's not just about like having an old man voice. Like that's part of it. But part of it too is, you know, being so familiar with the original recording he made, 40 years ago? And then to have him come now and record like a version that has been tweaked and changed and adjusted over so many decades of playing the song in so many cities for so many thousands of people. The way he holds notes, the way he inserts new notes where old notes used to be, just the way he leans into his own sibilants when he has S sounds that he sings, and the way he uses it rather than shy away from it, just speaks to the level of experience we're dealing with here. The man sounds amazing. And I can't wait. I want to hear more. I hope he's here for the whole thing.
But February made me shiver with every paper I delivered. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widowed bride. But something touched me deep inside the day the music died. So bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so, or do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. Man, I dig those rhythm and blues. I was a lonely teenage drunken buck with a pink carnation and a pickup truck, but I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. I started singing bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove me Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die.
Don hasn't lost a step. Not a step. Man, it's so good. It presents a real problem, right? Like, how do you covering a song this well known that has been this ingrained in American culture for so many decades? It presents a problem. How do you do it your way, make it your own, without disrespecting the original? That's the problem that needs to be solved. The notes, the chord structures, all of that like nuts and bolts, fundamental theory stuff. If you're an experienced musician, which the guys from Home Free clearly are, then that stuff, that's the obvious stuff, right? The challenge then becomes, how do you solve for that problem, right? It's like a math equation. How do you solve for X? How do you take this thing that everybody knows, do it in a way that represents your group and your style without completely disrespecting the original or shying away from the original? They've chosen to stick close to the original here, with some obvious changes, but the way the song takes you on a ride, it starts out slow, picks up pace, and then I'm only guessing, but I think it's a safe guess that it's probably going to slow back down again towards the end, just like the original did. That's one of the ways that they're staying true to the original, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Let's keep it going. I don't know how long this thing is. Oh, it's a long one. We got a ways. All right.
For 10 years we've been on our own, and moss grows fat on a rolling stone. But that's not how it used to be. When the jester sang for the king and queen in a coat he borrowed from James Dean, and a voice that came from you and me. Oh, and while the king was looking down, the jester stole his thorny crown. The courtroom was adjourned, but no verdict was returned. And while Lyndon read a book on Marx, the quartet practiced in the park, and we sang dirges in the dark. The that I die. Helter skelter in a summer swelter, the birds flew off with a fallout shelter. 8 miles high and falling fast. It landed foul on the grass. The players tried for a forward pass with the jester on the sidelines in a cast. Now the halftime air was sweet perfume while the sergeants played a marching tune. We all got up to dance. Oh, but we never got the chance, 'cause the players tried to take the field. The marching band refused to yield. Do you recall what was revealed today? The music died. We started singing, bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove me Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye.
The dude, where's that? Right there with the beard. I think his range is probably the closest to Don's. Don's not a tenor. I don't think. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't classify him as a tenor. I'm a baritone. I've sung this song at karaoke, and I didn't do terrible at it, right? I could hit almost everything. And the thing about his verse, about this dude's verse, that really kind of struck me is that you have to know where your limit's at. You have to know yourself as a singer really, really, really well to understand when you're pushing too far or when you're just pushing far enough. I think he was hitting pretty high up on his range. I don't think it was quite the top of his range, but it was getting pretty up there. And he knows. He kind of brought it back down to earth after hitting that really high note that he had. He kind of brought it back down and spent the rest of the verse kind of in the mid road, which is fine. Like that's what Don did back in the day. And so I think this verse so far to me feels the most like the original version of the verses so far that have been sung by members of Humphrey. That being said, as soon as they got back to the chorus, Don's back again and still killing it. I appreciate that they're all trading verses. This song is the full version of this song is 7 something long. So like, I'm sure they're doing the whole song, like the whole album cut or whatever. There was a version that was like 3.5, 4 minutes long. That was more of a radio cut version that, they chopped the song in half basically. So they get more radio play. And that has to do with, advertising time and radio play, scheduling structures and things like that. Like a lot of songs that were recorded longer had to have cut down versions for the radio. And they call those just the radio version. Usually they're around 3.5 minutes long because that's what radio needs is they need songs that fit within a very specific window because they need to be able to plan out and schedule when they're going to be running their ads because ads are how radio paid the bills for decades. So, half a century, decades, nothing. Radio paid the bills with ads for half a century and then some. And they're still trying to do that, even though it's, radio's kind of on its way out. But that's another rant for another time. I want to hear more Don. I don't get me wrong. I love the boys from Home Free. I think they're all incredibly talented, but I really want to hear more Don McLean.
Singing, this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die. Oh, and there we were all in one place. A generation lost in space. No time left to start again. So come on, Jack, be nimble. Jack, be quick.
thin fist of rage. No angel born in hell could break that Satan spell. And as the flames climbed high into the night to light the sacrificial rite, I saw Satan laughing with delight the day the music died. And he was singing, bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove me Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye and singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. I met a girl who sang the blues, and I asked her for some happy news, but she just smiled and turned away.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I went down to the sacred store where I'd heard the music years before, but the man there said the music wouldn't play. In the streets the children screamed, the lovers cried and the poets dreamed, but not a word was spoken. The church bells all were broken. And the three men I admire most, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, they caught the last train for the coast. The day the music died, and they were singing, bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die.
Wow. Wow. Um, I have a lot of history with that song. Personal and professional. Like I said, it's it's not one of my I can't claim that it's my favorite song of all time, but it is on a very short list if I had to make a list. What we have here is a gift. Home Free gave us the gift of enjoying Don McLean for another generation. Eventually the music goes away. And it's one of the only two constants in life, right? Death and taxes. This song is it's very fun and upbeat, but it also can be very dark, depending on your perspective. And the thing that I appreciate most about this is that Home Free absolutely understands that. And maybe it's because they were working with Don, or maybe it's because they knew all along. And they were just fortunate to have him on the track and in the video. But they absolutely managed to play with both sides. I mean, at the end of the day, this song's about life. Starts out slow, picks up, lots of things happen, lots of fun times to be had, lots of memories to be made. And at the end of it all, it eventually ends. And I think that's what this song to me has always represented. The arc of everything. Everyone lives their life, is born, lives, and then dies. We all have a story. We don't have the same story, but we all have a story. That's the thing that we all have in common. And I think that that's the reason why this song, so much more than so many other songs, can cross genres, can cross styles. People who listen to this song that don't listen to any other country music, don't listen to any other folk music, don't listen to any other rock music, can appreciate this song because there's something about this song that touches on the thing that all people have in common. We're born, we live, we create stories and memories, and then eventually it goes away. I don't have anything else to add. The video didn't really have much going on from a tech standpoint, so there wasn't really much to comment on there. I really like their use of color. The shadow box thing was a really cool idea. And the big harmonica leaning in the box, just kind of gave it a really cool kind of folksy vibe. But I think my favorite thing about the video was that it didn't get in the way of the song, because that's one of those songs that you can't get in the way of. It's too heavy. It's too big. There's too much happening in that song. So I think that's going to do it for me. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for making it this far into my video. If you'd like to watch more, make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube to the channel. Of course, you can always follow me on Facebook.com or Instagram.com/DJSwitchPDX. And last but not least, you can find me streaming live 3 nights a week. We're doing music on Wednesdays. I've got gaming on Fridays, and I've got my podcast show on Sundays over on twitch.tv/DJSwitchPDX, all at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. I'd love to see you all there. And most of my Twitch community is actually hanging out in a Discord. And if you'd like to join the Discord and be a part of that community, it's a lot of really, really cool music-loving nerds that like to just hang out and spend time with each other. And you're more than welcome to join us. I'm looking for more people to join us and come hang out and be a part of our community. And so the link to our Discord community is going to be in my link tree, which will be in the description down below. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.